welcome to Love and Life's Journey DIY. I'm Chantel. Thank you so much for watching. A few days ago, I went into Dollar Tree to see what they had out for Christmas because it's definitely time to start on those Christmas DIYs. And so in this video, I'm going to take you back to the store with me and show you that footage of what I saw. And then we'll come back and I'll show you the items that I picked up and we'll do some fun Christmas DIYs. When I first came in the door, I noticed these 4-foot Christmas trees. I bought one of those last year. I totally think they're worth the money. They also have lots of wrapping paper, some for $1.50, and some of these licensed character rolls for $3. So I think that's a fair price. And they had these shopping carts full of the vinyl paper and some galvanized items and die cut shapes, all on sale, on a clearance, I guess. You hardly ever see that at Dollar Tree. I like these reusable tote bags because you could just use them as gift bags, but they're reusable, so it's kind of like giving an extra little gift that people can use. They have a lot of their ornaments out, and I do see a lot of kind of the same ones that they carry every year, but I'm also seeing some new styles. And so just keep your eye out for any new items. They also have a lot of new sets of ornaments, such as these kind of specialty ornaments. I believe these were $7 a set, and they have several different styles. They also have some of the oversized ornaments, also for $7, as well as just a wide variety of different sets in all kinds of different colors. So probably a good place to check for some ornaments. These miniature ornaments in the multi-packs would also make great gift tags for your gifts. They have lots of little ornaments, lots of little tree skirts, tree collars, and miniature trees. So everything you need to put together a cute miniature Christmas tree. These lanterns are new in my store, at least. I've never seen this style before. They are actually flat on the back, so you can hang them on the wall. They are battery operated, so you have to, take them off every time to turn them off and on, but they're kind of cute. And then they also have these lanterns that have a little Christmas trees inside, as well as these little candle lanterns that look like a present. For $1.50, they did have a large selection of Christmas lights, the little LED lights for decorating with. And I really like these little window candle LED lights. I've seen these in other stores for like $6 or $7 a piece and up. These nutcrackers are cute. I think my favorite one is probably this little snowman. I also really like these metal trees. These are $5 each, and they have them in several different finishes. They have a silver, a white, a red, and kind of a oil rub bronze finish. And so those are really fun. Those would be great in a centerpiece or just decorating to put on a shelf or something. They also have a variety of wreaths. These are $5 each, and several different styles. They're not real full, but I think that you could do some nice things for with those for decorating. I feel like $7 for these 6-foot garlands is not a bad price. I will say that I think some of the designs are much cuter than some of the others, but they do have a good variety, and I think this blue and silver one is really pretty. I think Dollar Tree is still the place to go to get your gift bags. These are $1.50, but they're the larger sizes, so that's definitely a savings over other stores. And I really like these that look like a Thomas Kincaid painting. Some non-Christmas items that are new, I believe, are these table trays. These are ceramic. You can use these to put candles on, um, or uh, you could even use them in a bathroom or at a kitchen sink to put like a soap dispenser or something on. They also have some new LED candles. This one I've never seen, and it's quite a large size for $1.25. So that's a new product. They have these wood crates. Now, I've seen wood crates before, but I don't know if I've ever seen these. This one on the top is $5. The larger one is $6. And I think that's an okay price for that size of a wood crate. And I see in the craft items these new little diamond painting kits. These are bookmarks. These are really, really cute. These would make great gifts or a fun activity to do at a party. All right, now it's time to show you the items that I picked up, and then we'll do some DIYs. So I'll go through what I picked up fairly quickly so we can get to the fun stuff. So I did pick up some ornaments. I got these little booties. I just thought they were super cute, and I don't know what I'm going to use those for yet, but those are really cute. I also picked up these ornaments. I really liked how these were just very classy looking. They have them in different colors, but I thought the white and clear was just really pretty. So I picked up a few of those, and we will be using these in a DIY soon. Some other ornaments I picked up were these that come in the packages. I think these would make great gift tags, and of course you can use them for ornaments, but you could also use them to add to other DIY projects as embellishments. And you get 6 in a package. This one I got last year actually, and it says it's $1.25. I think they're actually $1.50 now, but still for 6 of them I think that's a pretty good deal. I did pick up this little hanging decoration. It says peace on it, and the blocks kind of spin around so you can't really tell what it says most of the time, but I'm actually going to probably disassemble this and use it in a different project. And you will want to stay tuned because I'm going to show you the best deal I ever got at Dollar Tree. You are not going to believe the price that I paid for these items, so stay tuned. I did also pick up this little jar. I thought this was just a really cute shape. You know, it looks like an ornament, and it has little candy canes and trees embossed on it, and it's just really cute. It'd be cute for decoration, also cute to give to somebody with something fun in it as a gift. So maybe some Christmas candies or something, but I just really like that. These LED window candles are a great deal. These are actually really expensive if you buy them from higher end stores, and these are just really nice. I picked up the kind of oil rubbed bronze finish. They did then have them in a shiny gold finish as well, but I did put some batteries in them. They don't come with batteries, but just so I could light it up and show you, it does flicker and gives it that realistic look, but it's just a really soft glow, and it looks really nice in your window. These little acrylic squares are new. These are in the crafting section, and the film peels off so that they're actually clear. So I think you could use these for a lot of different crafting and DIY projects. So I picked up a few of these, and again, I'm not sure what I'm going to use them for yet, but I think they just have a lot of potential. So I picked those up, and these were still $1.25. Also, $1.25 was this ceramic little plate. I don't know what they call it. Table tray is what they call it. But I thought this would just be really nice to maybe paint it, add some feet to it. You could even add some other embellishments to it and make a little riser or just a cute little tray to put some decorations on, and this was $1.25. This next item is something that I do not recommend that you buy, although they're really super cute, but you can tell me your advice. Let me know what you think. But these were the diamond painting kits, little bookmarks, and they're super cute, and $1.25. So cute. But I did actually do one of them, and while it is really pretty and I really like it, the diamonds do not stay put. They kind of slide around. So I don't know if after time they will kind of set up. Oh, one just fell off just now. So I'm afraid that these are not going to be what I had hoped they were going to be, because I took a chance and I bought a bunch of them because I figured if they were great, they would be gone the next time I was there and I wouldn't be able to get them. And if they weren't great, they were $1.25 each. I'm not out a ton of money. So either I'm going to have to like add some glue to hold the little things in place, the little diamonds in place, or I don't know, figure out something else to do with these. But if you have any ideas of what I could do, either to help keep the diamonds in place or to make something else out of them, please leave them in the comments below. I'd love to hear your ideas. Okay, now for some items that are a little bit more than the $1.25, $1.50 price point, but I think they are still a good deal. I did pick up one of these wreaths, and it was $5, and it's not like, you know, really full or anything. It's still pretty for a simple wreath, but you could totally use this for a base, for a centerpiece, or add some more greenery and embellishments to it for a wreath for your door. So I just liked the looks of the greenery and berries on this, so I thought it was a good starting point for $5. And I am going to embellish it up a little bit more and show you what I'm going to do with it. I did pick out a few floral picks, these with the more natural looking pine cones. They had some really glittery ones, but I like the more natural ones. Has the berries and the greenery on it. These are now, I think, $1.75. You may be able to find some greenery cheaper at maybe on sale at Hobby Lobby or at Walmart, but I only needed a couple and I didn't want to stop at another place, so I went ahead and picked these up at Dollar Tree. Another item I really liked is these metal trees. I picked up the red one. These were $5, and I'm kind of kicking myself because I almost bought some of these last year, and I think they were only $3 then. So, you know, that's what I get for waiting, but I think this is really cute. I also picked up a couple of their little metal lanterns. I like this one that looks like a present. It has the bow on the top. This is the smaller size. It was $5, and they had a taller one that was $7. And then if you want one that doesn't look Christmas all the time, then this is a good option. This was just $3, and this actually comes out and it's like a tube. It's not a vase. So keep that in mind. But for a candle, it's great. Or you could put some lights and some florals or pine cones or berries or something in that. And this one, you can change it up for all the seasons. So I think this is a good deal for $3. Now, you know, Dollar Tree has a lot of LED candles. This is a new one I've never seen before. It's big and it's kind of iridescent, but look how bright it is. You know, it's really bright. And the whole thing lights up, not just the top. And this could be really pretty in some applications. So I did grab this, and it's going to be fun to use in something. In fact, you could even put it inside this. It fits nicely in there. You could put some greenery around the bottom, but that's a nice size. So fun new product. And this was just $1.25. So these next items aren't Christmas specific. That's kind of hard to say. These aren't Christmas items. They are just craft items, but they had these little crates. This one was $5, and they had a bigger one for $6. But I like the size of this one because I'm going to be making a little wagon out of this. And I did pick up a few dowels and one of these pieces of wood, the little wood blocks. And then I picked up these little magnetic. These little magnetic containers. These were $1.50, I think, each. A little more than I wanted to pay because I needed 4 of them because I'm going to transform these into the wheels for my wagon. But when it's all said and done, I think this wagon is going to be super cute, and I am going to decorate it up for Christmas, but it's going to be something that you can switch up for every holiday, every season, and use it all year long. So this project is actually going to be in my next video, so make sure you're subscribed and have your notifications turned on so that you won't miss that video because it's going to be a fun project. Okay, so before we get into the DIYs, I want to share with you the best deal I ever got at Dollar Tree. At the store, I showed you those shopping carts that had those items in it, the galvanized letters and signs and tags that were 4 for $1, and then the little it said stickers, but they're actually like the die cut shapes. They were 50 cents each. Well, I picked up these because they kind of look like pine boughs to me, so I'm going to do something with that for Christmas. And I picked up these because these are going to make some great Christmas ornaments. And then for the tags and the galvanized, I picked up some of these galvanized tags. But here's the kicker. I got up to the checkout, and these were not 4 for $1. And these were not 50 cents each. These all rang up at 1 penny, 1 cent each. I paid for all of these, so that's pretty amazing. I got all of this for 9 cents. What? I guess they just had a ton and they were trying to clear it out, but that is the best deal I ever got at Dollar Tree. Okay, it's time to do some DIYs, so let's jump in and get started. We are going to start out with my little 1 cent packages of chipboard shapes. These have glitter on them already, and I thought they just looked like little Christmas ornaments. So we're going to just add a little bit more interest than just this to them. So for 1 cent, I got 2 of each design, and so there's a couple of ways that you could do this. You could just add some little hangers to these. You could paint the backs because the backs do not have the glitter finish on them, and then just add a little hanger to them. You could, instead of painting the backs, you could add a color paper behind them, which is really pretty. But then you just have the paper on one side. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to sandwich my paper in between the two identical shapes so that it is pretty on both sides when it's hanging on the tree. So I'm going to start out with just some scrap paper that I had on hand. This is pretty because it has a little bit of a sheen to it, and I am going to use a little bit of glue. You can use just Elmer's glue for this. It doesn't take really any special kind of glue. And I'm going to try not to make too much of a mess because I don't want it to look sloppy. Thankfully, Elmer's glue does dry clear, so that's good. I'm just going to set this aside and let them dry completely, making sure that that paper is adhered to the back of the little wood shape. Once the glue is dry, I am going to use a little X-Acto knife and just cut out around my shapes. So I'm going to use a little bit of hot glue to attach this hanger, but I don't want to use too much because I don't want to make a big bump there. And then I'll glue the other piece on using the Elmer's glue again. Once I have them all assembled, I will put a heavy book on them and let them sit until the glue is completely dry. So if the gold glitter is not your vibe, you could totally turn these over and paint the backs of them whatever color you want. I think these kind of look like snowflakes, so I am going to paint them using some off-white colored chalk paint. For the ones that I painted, I am not going to put any paper on these. I'm simply going to glue them together with the gold glittery sides together. So with these, you just want to get them lined up with the glue on there and pressed together. And you can either set something on them, or you can use something like these little clips from Dollar Tree from the Crafter's Square aisle. These are really handy just to hold things together, and I use these a lot. So this is a great use for these. If you do see any glue squeezing out in between them on the edges, you do want to wipe that off. But I'm just going to let those dry. So for these, I didn't have to glue the hanger in between because we didn't have the paper in there. I can simply just put it through one of the little holes and then tie a knot. And these cute little ornaments literally cost me 1 penny and a little paint and jute twine. And I think they're super cute. For this next project, I'm going to be using this cute little jar. I'll be using a toilet paper roll, some of the little LED wire lights from Dollar Tree, some green chalk paint, and then just some various pieces of Christmas greenery, some like evergreen and some berries, and then also some little pine cones. So I'm going to start by painting my toilet paper roll a green color, and I decided to go with not a real dark or bright green, but kind of a muted, lighter green. I'm trying to kind of make this disappear as much as possible. I don't really want it to show. And while this is drying, I'm going to take my greenery and pull off a few pieces. And then I'm also going to cut apart my berries. So once the paint on the tube is dry, I'm going to first I'm going to remove this label because it might show. Okay, so now I am going to take my little toilet paper tube that I painted and put that right down in the center. The reason I did that is because it's going to hide the battery pack. And so the battery pack is going to go right down in the center. And this toilet paper tube is actually a little bit taller than my jar. But when I put the lid on, it actually holds it in place and keeps it from sliding around. So I don't want to cut it down because I want it to be tight. And then I'm going to put the lights in here, just kind of try to get them evenly distributed. And they're going to get moved around a little bit, but that's okay. Alright, I think that looks pretty good. Then I am adding my little greenery and berries and pine cones all in here. And I think that is looking pretty good. I'm going to drop one more little pine cone in here. So now you can easily access the battery pack to change the batteries or to turn them off and on. And how cute is that? For this project, I'm going to be using that table tray that's a ceramic. And like I said, this was just $1.25 still at Dollar Tree. And it's nice and heavy. I do want to add some little feet to it to make it like a little riser. And so I found in my stash these wooden knobs. I think I got these at Hobby Lobby. They came in a package of 4, I believe, or maybe 6. But I'm going to use those. I am going to be gluing these to the bottom of my tray using this Gorilla Glue. You could use E6000 or another strong bonding glue. I don't know about using hot glue. I'm not sure how strong of a bond that would give you. And then I am going to be painting this with just some white spray paint. All I have is glossy, and I really don't want a gloss finish, so I think I might go over it with some matte finish Mod Podge after I spray paint it. The other alternative is to paint it with chalk paint, but I think maybe the spray paint will adhere to this a little bit better, so I'm going to go with that. And these were obviously, I painted them to use for a different project and then didn't use them. They come just in this natural wood finish. Since I'm going to be spray painting the whole thing, I'm not worrying about that. So I'm just going to figure out kind of the placement of these. And then we'll add the Gorilla Glue. And I am going to let this dry overnight. Now that this has dried overnight and the glue is completely set, you can see it's very strong, I'm going to take this and go give it a couple of coats of this spray paint. So now that I have it all painted white, I don't think I want it to be like totally this stark of a white. And if you've watched my channel at all, you know that I love to dry brush things and make them look a little bit distressed. So I'm going to take a little bit, just a very little bit of black chalk paint, and I'm going to give this just a little bit of dry brushing. If you don't know what dry brushing is, it's getting just a little bit of paint on a dry brush, and then I get most of the paint off actually, so there's just a very little because I always like to start lighter and work up. So then you just take your dry brush and go lightly across your project. And this is just going to leave a little bit of the paint on the raised edges and in just a few spots. And you can see it's kind of putting some of that on the edges of the project. And then because this had a little bit of texture, it's also putting a little bit of the black paint on some of that texture that was raised on here. So I just like this. It doesn't look quite as just totally all one color. It gives it some dimension and it kind of makes it fit into my farmhouse decor better. And you can use any color to dry brush on your project. Some favorites of mine are to use a darker brown or a gray color. It just depends on what your tastes are, what your decor is, and what you're going to use your project for. And like I said, it's totally personal preference. You don't have to dry brush it at all. You can leave it a solid color, or you could even put a design on this. You could put a decal or some sort of stencil if you wanted to. So you just get creative with this and make it exactly what you want it to be. So I am going to be using mine in the center of this wreath that I picked up at Dollar Tree as a centerpiece on my table. So it's a perfect size. I love that. And I love this wreath. However, for a centerpiece, I feel like I need to kind of embellish it a little bit more and add some things to it. So I am going to be using these two picks that I got, or floral stems, I guess, with the pine cones and berries and greenery. I'll also be using these LED photo clip string lights, and there's really no reason in particular that I'm using the photo clip string lights other than it's what I have on hand, and so I'm going to use these, and I'm probably going to use 2 sets of them. And then I'm also going to add some of these ornaments that I showed you earlier that I just think are so pretty into this project. So for now, we're going to set our little riser aside, and I'm going to start by taking apart my little floral picks because I want to be able to kind of spread them out throughout the wreath. So I'll just use some wire cutters to cut those apart. So then I'm going to take the little ornaments and remove the little string hangers. I don't need those. Then I am going to place them, position them around the wreath, kind of evenly spaced. And honestly, I wish I had a couple more of these, but I think I can make 4 work. But I think having an odd number is probably better. But we're going to work with what we've got for now. The spacing on that is pretty good. And I'm not going to glue anything down yet because I like to kind of position it, be able to move it around before I decide exactly where I want it to be. But I did want to get an idea of where the ornaments are going to be as I am positioning my extra florals. So I'm just going to start placing them around the wreath and filling this in until I like the way it looks. I think that I am pretty happy with that. So I know where these are going to go. So now I'm going to use my hot glue gun and go ahead and attach the things that I added in that are not secured. Okay, so let's put our little ornaments on, and I'm just going to put them on with a little dab of hot glue. And just kind of facing different angles. I'm not going to put them all so they're like sitting straight up or all facing the same direction. I think that just makes it more interesting. It seems a little more random. I kind of like that. Now we're going to put our lights on. And I'm not going to worry about the battery packs because mine are going to sit underneath my riser, so you're not even going to see them. But if you wanted to do something different where you didn't have the riser, you can just kind of tuck your battery pack underneath some of the more thick greenery, and then it won't show as much. Alright, I think that is looking pretty good. So like I said, I'm just going to put this riser over the top of those battery packs so you don't even see them. So I'm going to be putting this on my riser here in the center, and I have this little candle from Dollar Tree that I'm going to put in here. So I was thinking about adding something else to the top of this little bow lantern, maybe some actual ribbon or some greenery or something else. Obviously, if I do that, I would not be lighting a real candle in that because it would be flammable. However, if I do decide to add something to that, I could put an LED candle in here. So let me know what you think. Does it need something else on the top to add to that, or would you leave it as it is? If you do think it needs something, what would you put on there? Let me know in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed these Dollar Tree Christmas DIYs. Let me know in the comments which one was your favorite or which ones you might try. And if you did like this video, please hit that like button. It really helps me out. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and set your notifications so that YouTube will notify you every time I upload a new video. I have hundreds of videos and DIY projects on my channel, so be sure to check those out. I will link one of my favorites here for you to watch next. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you all have a blessed day.